Thank you all for listening and watching my videos. Please subscribe and like my channel Master Coolitz. Hoping that you will not skip my ads. It's a big help for me by not skipping it. Thank you so much. Dragon Shadow. The Rise.
The human-shaped puppet stood lifeless, but in a heartbeat, light blue lines began to wrap around its body, resembling cracks. The blue light grew more intense, and the puppet started to move. The lines pulsed and writhed like serpents, etching their way across the puppet's form, seeping into the grooves and filling them with an otherworldly glow. In all directions, thousands of broken swords embedded in the ground suddenly gleamed with bloody light. The light pulsated, casting eerie shadows on the cave walls. A thick blood mist seeped out from the swords, filling the space with an acrid metallic scent that assaulted the senses, making the air heavy and hard to breathe. The mist was so dense that it seemed to have a life of its own, swirling and coiling around Zane Martel and Scarlet, making them feel lightheaded and disoriented. Their vision blurred momentarily as the pungent smell overwhelmed their senses. Suddenly, the kneeling puppet gave off an intense aura, a palpable wave of energy that rolled through the cave like a shockwave, causing the walls to tremble and dust to rain down from the ceiling. It seemed like a beast was trapped inside, ready to break free, its rage and frustration palpable. The puppet's eyes flared open, revealing two orbs of searing light that pierced through the thick mist. Its mouth twisted into a snarl as it began to rise, shaking off the years of dormant stillness. The aura around it intensified, growing darker and more menacing.
Old Ghost Liu, I'll kill you.
Zane Martel and Scarlet's expressions changed drastically. Their eyes widened in shock and fear as they took cautious steps back. The puppet's voice was filled with a deep-seated rage that sent chills down their spines.
Damn the Liu family and the Godwill sect. You've schemed against me. Even if I die, I'll curse you for generations.
The puppet's voice echoed off the cave walls, a cacophony of anger and vengeance that seemed to reverberate in their very bones. The chains on the puppet's limbs rattled violently, each link straining under the force of its fury. The chains on the puppet's limbs clanged violently. Blood dripped from the swords on its back, each drop sizzling as it hit the ground, adding to the thickening mist.
I can't accept this. Old Ghost Liu, Godwill sect, release me if you have the guts.
The puppet struggled fiercely against its restraints, the muscles in its body bulging and straining with effort. The bloody light from the broken swords flared brighter, as if feeding off its rage, and began to pulse in time with its frantic movements. Each pulse a visual heartbeat of its fury. Zane frowned, a feeling of familiarity gnawing at him. Had he known this puppet before? The aura it emitted, the energy that surrounded it, felt oddly familiar, as if it were a long-forgotten nightmare resurfacing. His mind raced, trying to place the feeling, but the answer remained just out of reach. Suddenly, 4 elders of the Liu family appeared on the stone pillars. They seemed to materialize out of the mist, their forms shimmering with an ethereal light. Bright light condensed in their hands, linking the pillars with threads of energy that formed a web around the puppet. The runes carved into the stone pillars began to glow, coming to life with a brilliant intensity. The runes danced and swirled, resembling hundreds of tiny wriggling tadpoles, each one pulsating with power.
Old Ghost Liu, you're despicable. Let me go and fight me if you have the guts.
The runes extended along the chains, sizzling as they reached the puppet's body. Each contact point sparked with energy, eliciting a pained roar from the puppet. The web of energy tightened around it, reinforcing its restraints and amplifying its agony. The sight was both mesmerizing and terrifying, a testament to the dark arts at play. The elders chanted in unison, their voices a haunting melody that filled the cave, intertwining with the runes and the chains, creating a symphony of power and control. The air crackled with tension, the atmosphere thick with the impending clash of wills. As the puppet continued to struggle, Zane and Scarlet could feel the weight of its despair and anger pressing down on them. The cave seemed to shrink around them, the walls closing in as the puppet's roars grew louder, more desperate.
You think we'll let you out? Elders begin to condense.
The runes swarmed toward the puppet, snaking along the chains and activating the broken swords embedded in its back. The swords shimmered, their bloody light intensifying as they absorbed the energy from the runes. In an instant, blood-red flying swords shot out from the puppet, hurtling toward Zane and Scarlet with deadly precision. Scarlet's face turned pale. The realization of the danger they were in washed over her, and she could feel her heart pounding in her chest.
I'm Scarlet, a member of the Liu family. I'm here to inherit our ancestors' legacy.
Her voice trembled, but the swords continued their relentless attack. She fought back, deflecting the flying swords with swift, precise movements. Her eyes darted between the attacking swords and the impassive elders standing on the stone pillars.
Elders, stop. I'm Scarlet.
The elders did not acknowledge her plea. Instead, the puppet laughed, a chilling sound that echoed through the cave, filled with a mixture of mockery and bitterness.
Poor girl. Can't you see they've fooled you?
Zane and Scarlet's hearts skipped a beat. The puppet's words cut through the chaos, sowing seeds of doubt and fear.
What's going on? Tell us.
The puppet's eyes gleamed with a cruel satisfaction, its voice dripping with bitterness.
The Liu family deceives their disciples, claiming they can inherit the ancestors' legacy. But they aim to refine you into blood swords to seal me, turning me into a killing machine.
Scarlet's body trembled as the puppet's words sank in. She could hardly believe it, but the evidence was right before her eyes. The elders' relentless attack, the blood-red swords, the puppet's anguished cries, it all pointed to a horrifying truth. The elders, meanwhile, continued their attack with cold, unyielding precision. They showed no sign of mercy or hesitation. Their focus entirely on controlling the blood-red swords and ensuring the puppet remained subdued.
You were born in the Liu family and you will die as a member of the Liu family.
Scarlet's breath caught in her throat. The elders' words were like a death sentence delivered without a hint of compassion.
Isn't it an honor to sacrifice your life to make us more powerful?
The callousness in their voices was unmistakable. It was as if her life meant nothing more than fuel for their dark ambitions. Scarlet's resolve wavered, her martial arts quintessence flickering under the weight of betrayal and despair. As her movements slowed, a flying sword seized the opportunity, aiming straight for her throat with lethal intent.
Get lost.
Zane appeared just in time, his form a blur of motion as he intercepted the sword, deflecting it with a powerful strike that sent it spinning away. He positioned himself in front of Scarlet, his expression hardening with determination. The cave seemed to grow darker, the oppressive aura pressing down on them both.
Scarlet, if the Liu family treats you like this, what else do you expect? Focus on staying alive.
The puppet's laughter echoed through the cave as Zane and Scarlet struggled against the relentless assault. What dark secrets did the Liu family hold? And could Zane and Scarlet survive this deadly encounter? In the depths of Kintyre County, chaos reigned. The underground chamber was dimly lit, the air thick with the scent of blood and fear. Shadows danced ominously on the walls, cast by the flickering light of torches. The rough stone walls, slick with moisture, seemed to close in, amplifying the sense of dread that hung heavy in the air. The silence was broken only by the distant drip of water echoing through the cavernous space. Zane Martel's voice, strong and commanding, cut through the tension.
Scarlet, snap out of it.
Scarlet trembled, her body shaking from fear and confusion. Her breaths came in quick, shallow gasps, and her heart pounded wildly in her chest. Tears brimmed in her eyes, threatening to fall, but as she met Zane's determined gaze, she felt a surge of strength. His presence was a beacon of hope in the oppressive darkness. Her resolve hardened, and she straightened her posture, wiping away the tears with the back of her hand. Her fingers brushed against her cheek, smudging the remnants of her makeup, a stark reminder of her vulnerability turning into a symbol of newfound resolve.
Zane, you're right. The Liu family has shown their true colors. They've never been my family, not truly. How could they? I'll never call them family again.
The four elders of the Liu family, standing like ominous statues, their faces twisted with anger and betrayal, unleashed their fury upon hearing Scarlet's defiance. Their robes, dark and foreboding, billowed as if caught in an unseen wind, and their eyes glinted with a dangerous light. The air around them seemed to crackle with dark energy, and their hands twitched, ready to summon their deadly magic at a moment's notice.
Traitor, how dare you betray us after everything we've done for you? All the resources, all the time, and this is how you repay us.
The tension escalated as blood-red flying swords, shimmering with a malevolent glow, hurtled towards Scarlet with deadly intent. The swords, like serpentine shadows, twisted and turned in the air, their edges gleaming with a thirst for blood. The sound of their movement was a sinister hiss, like a predator closing in on its prey.
You should be grateful to sacrifice everything for the Liu family. Your body, your life, your very soul should be offered up willingly.
Zane's eyes narrowed, his stance firm and unwavering. He positioned himself protectively in front of Scarlet, his determination palpable. The air around him seemed to hum with a fierce, protective energy, and his gaze was like steel.
Selfish old fools. Scarlet, stay behind me. I'll protect you.
A brilliant silver light erupted from Zane, clashing with the blood-red swords in a dazzling display of power and defiance. The force of the impact sent shockwaves through the chamber, causing the ground to tremble. Dust and small rocks fell from the ceiling, and the echo of the clash was deafening. The blood-red serpents, momentarily scattered by Zane's relentless assault, quickly reformed with undying ferocity, swirling back into the fray with renewed vigor. They moved with a fluid grace, as if driven by a single malevolent will.
You can't defeat the bloody sword-thawing formation. It feeds on the souls it traps, making it stronger with each passing moment.
Amidst the chaos, a puppet chained and motionless in the corner of the chamber sneered. Its voice, dripping with condescension, echoed eerily. The chains clinked softly as it shifted, its eyes glinting with a mix of amusement and malice.
This formation is unbeatable. It devours all who enter. The souls of the fallen are transformed into blood swords, adding to its power. You're fighting a losing battle.
The puppet's words seemed to hang in the air, adding to the oppressive weight of the situation. Zane's mind raced, calculating his next move amidst the chaos. He knew he had to act quickly to protect Scarlet and defeat the elders. His eyes scanned the chamber, taking in every detail, every possible advantage he could exploit. The air was thick with tension, every breath a struggle against the weight of impending doom. Zane's mind raced, calculating his next move amidst the chaos. He knew he had to act quickly to protect Scarlet and defeat the elders. His eyes scanned the chamber, taking in every detail, every possible advantage he could exploit. The flickering torchlight revealed the intricacies of the cavern, the uneven ground, the stalactites hanging precariously from the ceiling, and the runes etched into the stone that glowed with a faint, eerie light. These runes, he realized, were the source of the formation's power, feeding the blood-red swords with a seemingly endless supply of energy.
Scarlet, cover me. I'll take them down.
With lightning speed, Zane lunged at the nearest elder. A pale blue glow enveloped him, merging with the power of the wind. He moved like a phantom, swift and elusive. In an instant, he was before an elder, his fist crashing through a summoned blood sword in the elder's chest in one swift, decisive move. The elder's eyes widened in shock and pain before the life drained from them, and he collapsed to the ground, lifeless.
He's too strong. We must join forces.
The remaining elders, their faces pale with fear, quickly combined their power. They chanted in unison, their voices a low, guttural murmur that reverberated through the chamber. The ground beneath Zane's feet began to tremble as they summoned massive blood pythons, serpentine constructs of dark energy, to encircle Zane. The pythons hissed and writhed, their scales shimmering with a dark, malevolent light, their eyes glowing a sinister red. The pythons lunged at Zane, their jaws wide open, fangs dripping with venom. Zane braced himself, his muscles tensing as he prepared to strike.
Out of my way.
A black light flickered as Zane brandished the Black Abyss sword. With a powerful swing, he sliced through the blood pythons with ease. The serpentine constructs disintegrated into dark mist, dissipating into the air with a hiss, leaving only a faint trace of their presence. In the corner of the chamber, the puppet, previously motionless, suddenly trembled at the sight of the sword. Its eyes, previously dull and lifeless, now glinted with recognition and fear. The puppet's chains rattled as it shifted, struggling against its bonds.
The Black Abyss sword. How do you have it? Explain yourself or I'll kill you.
Zane turned, shock evident in his eyes. The recognition in the puppet's voice sent a chill down his spine. How could this puppet know of the sword? And why did it seem so familiar?
Are you the Sword King Mr. Black spoke of?
The puppet, still chained, nodded slowly. Its movements were jerky, as if it hadn't moved in centuries.
Sword King, I haven't heard that name in years. I am Gabriel Stone. That sword is mine.
Zane's eyes widened in recognition and awe. This puppet, this seemingly lifeless figure, was the legendary Sword King, the one spoken of in hushed tones and revered in legends.
It's really you.
But before he could say more, the elders, not willing to let their enemy converse, interrupted angrily. Their faces twisted with rage, they raised their hands, summoning more dark energy.
Enough talk. You both will die here.
Zane, anger boiling, dispatched the elders with a mighty swing of his sword. The underground chamber filled with a thick blood fog, the air heavy with the metallic scent of blood. The fog swirled and eddied, obscuring vision and heightening the sense of chaos. The echoes of the elders' final screams lingered in the air before being swallowed by the oppressive silence. Turning to Gabriel, Zane stabbed the Black Abyss sword into the ground, summoning Mr. Black's spirit. The sword vibrated with power, its dark aura filling the chamber. The light from the blade cast long shadows, giving the scene an otherworldly, almost ethereal quality.
Master, is it truly you?
Gabriel, recognizing his old disciple, was filled with a mix of joy and sorrow. His eyes, once hard and cold, softened with emotion. Tears glistened in his eyes, a testament to the bond they shared.
Yes, but these chains, they're unbreakable.
Zane tried to cut the chains, his strikes fierce and determined, but they remained intact. The chains, forged from ancient dark iron and infused with blood chi, glowed with a dark, otherworldly light. Each strike of the Black Abyss sword seemed to be absorbed by the chains, their power unwavering.
The chains can't be broken. You must leave, Zane. Take the Black Abyss sword and Scarlet. Escape while you can.
Zane's heart pounded, each beat echoing in his ears. Could he abandon Gabriel? Was there another way to save him? As the cave echoed with tension and the air thickened with suspense, the question loomed. How would Zane save Gabriel Stone and himself? In the depths of the eerie cave, where shadows dance and whispers echo, the air grew thick with tension. The stakes were high and the air crackled with the charged energy of impending doom. Zane Martel stood firm, his eyes locked on the trembling figure of Mr. Black. The dim light cast eerie shadows on the cave walls, creating a nightmarish atmosphere. The ground beneath them seemed to pulse with an ominous rhythm, as if echoing the heartbeat of some ancient, malevolent force.
No, Master, I won't leave. I've been waiting for you for so long.
His voice wavered, laced with a blend of fear and stubborn resolve. Sweat beaded on his forehead, glistening in the flickering light. His eyes darted around, filled with a mix of hope and desperation, clinging to the promise of salvation. Mr. Black's voice trembled, his willpower wavering like a flickering candle in the wind. The situation was dire, and the sinister blood python loomed menacingly. Its scales gleamed with a sickening red hue, and its eyes burned with a predatory hunger. Every hiss it made sent chills down their spines, and the scent of blood hung heavily in the air, amplifying the sense of dread. Zane shook his head, determination etched in his features. He couldn't abandon his friend now, not after coming this far. The thought of retreating was unacceptable, the resolve in his heart hardening with each passing second.
Senior, I promised Mr. Black I'd find you no matter what. We can't just leave and let you suffer.
His voice was steady, but beneath it lay a fierce protectiveness, a vow that he intended to keep, no matter the cost. From the shadows, Gabriel Stone's voice cut through the tension like a knife, sharp and unyielding. The sound reverberated off the stone walls, adding to the already oppressive atmosphere.
It's useless. The blood energy has been condensed over 100 times. You'll die for nothing if you stay here.
His tone was urgent, filled with a grim certainty that made Zane's heart skip a beat. The reality of their perilous situation was undeniable. The three old men perched on their respective stone pillars laughed, their cackles filled with malice. Their eyes gleamed with wicked delight, reveling in the hopelessness they believed they had inflicted upon their enemies.
Gabriel's right. You're doomed from the start.
His laughter echoed eerily, a chilling reminder of their cruel power.
There's no way out, too naive.
His voice dripped with condescension, enjoying the despair of those trapped below.
Stephen, Scarlet, surrender.
His tone was imperious, confident in their inevitable victory, as if their dominance was already assured. The blood python twisted and roared, its wide jaws snapping toward Zane and Scarlet. The ground trembled beneath its immense weight, and its roar was deafening, a sound of pure malevolence. The very air seemed to shiver in fear, and the shadows deepened as if recoiling from the monstrous creature's presence. Scarlet was sent flying, blood trickling down her mouth. Her body hit the ground with a sickening thud, her breath coming in ragged gasps. Her voice barely a whisper, pain etched into every syllable. Despite her talent, Scarlet was at a disadvantage against the three elders, masters of the advanced level. Their power was overwhelming, their coordinated attacks relentless. Each movement they made was calculated, their experience evident in the precision of their strikes. Scarlet struggled to keep up, her strength waning with every passing second. The other blood python, its eyes gleaming with malicious intent, charged at Zane with terrifying speed.
Go, boy. You're no match for them.
Gabriel's voice was desperate, his eyes wide with fear for Zane's safety. The urgency in his tone cut through the chaos, a stark reminder of the peril they faced. But Zane's lips curled into a defiant smile. The devouring dragon spirit within him stirred, an insatiable hunger taking hold. The air around him crackled with raw power, the ground beneath his feet trembling.
Since I can't kill them all, I'll eat it.
His voice was filled with an eerie calm, a quiet confidence that sent chills down the spine of everyone present. Gabriel looked baffled as a finger-sized, devouring dragon spirit appeared above Zane's head, its golden and silver scales gleaming ominously. The spirit's presence was overwhelming, a palpable force that seemed to dominate the very air around it.
What's that? I've never seen it. Kill him.
His voice trembled with fear, the sight of the devouring dragon spirit shaking his confidence.
Kill him.
His desperation was evident, the realization of their impending doom sparking a frenzy in his voice. The dragon spirit opened its jaws, consuming the blood python in one swift motion. The sight was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. The sheer power of the dragon spirit on full display. Everyone was stunned. The silence that followed was deafening, the shock of what they had witnessed rendering them speechless.
What's going on? Why is the connection with the blood python broken?
Stephen is abnormal. Don't let him walk out alive. Kill him together.
His voice was a mix of fear and urgency, the threat of Zane's power shaking his resolve. The remaining blood fog and broken swords were swiftly devoured by the dragon spirit, causing the chains binding Gabriel to rattle violently. The sight was both surreal and horrifying, the dragon spirit's hunger seemingly insatiable.
This is bad. The formation's breaking, and Gabriel's about to escape. Forget Stephen and Scarlet. We need to kill Gabriel.
Hundreds of sword energies and fist shadows fell from the sky as Zane joined the fray, wielding the Black Abyss sword to buy Gabriel time. The air was filled with the sounds of battle, the clash of steel and the roar of energy echoing through the cave.
Haha, the seal's loosening. Do you think you can kill me, weaklings? Naive. The wicked Leo family will pay in blood once I'm free.
His voice was filled with a triumphant fury, the promise of vengeance clear in his words. With a loud shout, Gabriel broke the chains, releasing a large blood fog that the dragon spirit swiftly consumed. The sight was awe-inspiring, the sheer power of Gabriel and the dragon spirit on full display.
The worst-case scenario. Gabriel's broken the seal.
His voice was filled with terror, the realization of their defeat hitting him hard. A massive palm print descended from the sky, a desperate last-ditch effort to contain the chaos.
You've ruined the Leo family's 100-year plan, brat. You'll pay with your life.
The Leo family's plan means nothing to me. I'll destroy it all. You want to kill me? I'll kill you first.
A streak of sword energy shattered the palm print and killed an elder. The remaining 2 elders fled, cursing. Their retreat was a clear sign of their defeat, their confidence shattered by the sheer power of Zane and Gabriel.
Stephen, Gabriel, the Liu family won't let you off. You'll die the moment you leave this cave.
But Gabriel, with newfound strength, tore apart the chains, obliterating the fleeing elders with ease. The sight was both terrifying and awe-inspiring, the sheer power of Gabriel on full display.
What terrifying strength.
Gabriel nodded approvingly at Zane.
You're called Stephen, right? Good. Black Abyss was right. Let's take our revenge on the Liu family.
His voice was filled with determination, the promise of vengeance clear in his words. With each step Gabriel took, his aura intensified. Zane and Scarlet followed closely behind. As they emerged from the depths, the ground shook violently. A sharp cry echoed from underground. What new horrors await Zane and his companions? Will they survive the wrath of the Liu family?